There you are.
Sorry, I couldn't find my charger and it was in my daughter's room.
So if you just want to sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor or crisscross, we're just going to do a quick little gratitude meditation. And so go ahead and just do a slight close of your eyes. You can position your hands however you like. I like to do my hands palms facing up, especially during a gratitude meditation or appreciation, because I feel like it's just receiving all of that wonderful energy. Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Just allow your body to relax. And go ahead and continue that cycle of breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And repeat to yourself these affirmations. On your next breath in, I am grateful for my life. Breath in, I am grateful for my breath. I am grateful for my family and friendships. I'm grateful for my challenges and lessons learned. I am grateful for the guidance I've received. I am grateful for this moment of meditation. Now continue breathing and place your hands on your heart. Breath in and out. Feel the energy in your body. I am grateful for all the love within me and around me. On your breath out, send out that energy of gratitude to the world. One more time. In, I am grateful for all the love within me and around me. And out, send that energy to the world. And when you're ready, go ahead and just open your eyes. So thank you so much for doing these small little alignment exercises. Now the words that I said, if you want to take this and use this, there is going to be the recording. You can watch it back, or you can write your own words. You can think of your own things to be grateful for, your own things that you want to appreciate in your life. I just really think like just sometimes we skip over some of the basic things, just being so grateful for our breath, feeling our own chest and our heartbeat and our body and the energy moving through our body. It can just be so nourishing. That's why I love this week's mantra of I nourish my body, mind, and spirit, because everything really works all together. And we'll talk a little bit about that tonight in achieving optimal health. But now I want to move into hearing from each of you. So we're going to do what's called time to shine. And so I'll type this in the chat box too, so you can have it. But I'm going to be asking 3 things, what I want to hear from you. I want to hear, the first thing is, what ritual did you try out and what are you going to keep? Because like I said, everything is just a practice. And so like all of the rituals that we talked about last time, like they may not work for you, but they might work for you, you know? And then the second thing is, what is your biggest aha moment so far? And so, like I said, this is all about like self-discovery. And then the third thing is something that you're currently challenged by. It's hard to type and talk random. I never really tried that before. And how we can help specifically. So remember, we want to do a specific ask, not a general one. So those are the 3 things I want to hear, and everybody will get about like 3 to 4 minutes or so. Do you have any volunteers to go first? Don't all jump at once. Oh, Tawny's going to go. Just unmute yourself. I'll ask you to unmute. Do you see a little thing that says unmute? There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Hi.
Thank you for going first. Hi.
Sure. So the ritual I chose, because I was already journaling, I chose to make my bed every day, which
Okay.
has been kind of a challenge for me because it's not something that I ever make like a point to do. And last night, laying in bed, my husband says, I love that you make the bed every day. So like it's almost like those love languages, like that's for him, like it speaks to him. So that was kind of a double like aha and like a ritual that I'm gonna keep because he loves it, and it also is meaningful to me because it's kind of an easy thing for me to do. Really it takes like 2 minutes, if that, to make my bed. And he loves it, and it's just a win-win there.
That's awesome. Well, and it's about keeping that commitment to yourself, because that's one of those easy things that you can just overlook. But why overlook it? And look at like it created additional magic or little miracle moments in your life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another aha moment was I was journaling and got some relief from my journaling. I have this shameful thing that I keep doing to myself, that I'm not enough and I'm not worthy. And it really, I think, stems from my parents, and I have an older sister that took up all of their energy, and I have never really, I still don't really feel like I'm ever good enough. She always comes first, and her issues always come first, and they don't really care about mine. And it's something I really need to talk to my mom about and tell her how I feel. I just, my grandpa told me, he said, well, honey, you've just not needed us as much. And it's always really stuck to me. And it's like, they don't even know that I didn't need them, because maybe I did. And I've just always, done the right thing and got good grades and, focused on that, had really good friends to support me. And I don't know, I struggle with it.
So I would encourage you to keep journaling on it, and then when you're ready, have that conversation just to share your feelings, and just be like, hey, Mom, can I share something with you that I've not shared before? And you don't really need to respond right away, but it'll just, it'll really help me if I'm able to share it, and just kind of getting it out there, and then maybe even just leaving some space and then coming back and talking about it again.
Yeah.
So, but when you're ready, I think that'll be good. So what's something that we could help you with specifically over the next couple of weeks?
Oh, the challenge. That one's a struggle. I did my goals, but I think too vague. So, one of the things I think that I need help with is, I wrote down, just, I guess keeping to my routine and rituals. I don't know. I mean, sticking to my ritual because it's helping me, I guess. I don't know.
So how can we help support you? I don't know. You think about it, and then something specific that we could do, or that you could do that we could hold you accountable to. I want you to post it in the Facebook group.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you so much for sharing and going first. Let's see, I'll just go in order as I see people. Crystal, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay, so too funny, but My ritual is making my bed as well.
Yes, I love it.
But I kind of upped it up a little bit. I started making my kids do it too.
I like it.
It's fun because like we're having like little mini competitions to see who has like the nicest bed now, like who did it like perfectly. So it's fun just because my girls are, one's a teenager and the other one is a little bit smaller. And it's like a fun routine and we have fun doing it now. And before it's like, I don't know, my bed wasn't really like a comfortable place like just to relax, and it's like now, I don't know, we have more fun, and that's why I've been journaling recently now. I don't know, it's just like, wow, my bed is so more comfortable and it looks so pretty, and I don't know,
it just
feels
nice. Good, like your environment feels good, you know, when you take pride in it. Yeah,
like it reminds me of going into a hotel, and you know they always have like the beautiful beds fixed up, pillows fluffed. That's how it is for us now.
Cool. That's awesome. What's been one of your biggest aha moments over the last couple of weeks?
I've been doing yoga, and I started once again including my littlest one with me, who's 9. And I don't know, it's kind of like mommy and me time together. And she's teaching me things and I'm trying to teach her things. So they're like simple, basic things that I guess I never had time for. I just didn't make a priority. It's like kind of going back to the basics.
And how it, like, society tells us we have to do all these things and have all these things, but it's the littlest things like making your bed or doing something with your daughter that makes the biggest difference, you know?
I know. I think I always felt like I was just running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to do 800 million things all in one day. And I felt like complete dog shit because I couldn't get anything done. You know, and it's like going through, and I'm still haven't responded to your email recently, but I'm still going through what exactly do I really need to get done? And what about all the extra shit that I'm piling on that I doesn't need to get done today?
Exactly. Yeah. And all the things that you're just thinking about. I love that. What's something that we can help you with specifically that you kind of feel challenged with?
I can't think of anything.
What?
I know, because I can't think of just one thing because there's like so many things in there.
So a tip for both you and Tani is like whatever maybe your goal, one of your goals are over the 90 days, maybe something around an accountability piece for that, or to share something for that. Like if your goal was to, you know, nourish your body specifically or consistently with healthy food, like how Samantha asked in the group, like, hey, does anybody have a recipe for dinner recipes or whatever? Like, you know, something like that could just be a really easy, specific ask that could help fuel your goal. So I want both of you to post just something specific. It doesn't have to be like huge, you know what I mean? Or like life shattering. It could just be something small. Maybe it's everyone's prompt. I don't know, like, or yoga. What's your favorite YouTube yoga class?
Yeah. So I recently bought an air fryer, and I don't know what I'm doing with it. So I guess if anybody has an air fryer, give me some tips on it, because I've seen bad stories like where people have burnt their stuff to a crisp. So I've been hesitating using it.
You are going to love it. So if anybody has recipes or tips, let's post them in the Facebook group for Crystal. But I have recipes and tips, and vegetables are the best in the air fryer. I know everybody uses them for meat, but I'm the vegetable lady in there.
Really? Okay, cool.
So
good tip. Thank you.
Diced butternut squash. Candy.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Brooke, you're up.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what ritual that I incorporate into my daily routine? Same thing. Started making my bed every day. I don't know why I wasn't doing it before. Just pure laziness, I guess. And let's see. Still doing the morning yoga. So I get up at 6:15 ish, and I'll do yoga for like 15 minutes. exercising. So I'll go to work and then I'll do whatever my exercise is for the day. So I'm keeping up with that. I haven't turned on my snooze button and just, roll back over into bed. So that's nice.
How does that feel, keeping that commitment to yourself?
It's good. I'm just so tired by the time 6 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, I just Okay, so and let's see. My biggest aha moment was, I think, when we were exchanging emails and I was trying to think of I guess, what am I actually doing to take steps towards learning how to tattoo. Other than drawing, I didn't really have anything, so I went and finally bought a tattoo gun, and it came in today, and it has I got some fake skin and all this stuff to go with it, so I'm pretty stoked about that. There's just a couple of things that I didn't think that I needed that I now realize that I need. And I already have a ton of friends and different people that are like, oh, I can't wait for you to do my tattoo. So that gives me a little boost of courage.
And so what it was, so everybody knows, we were just emailing back and forth, we all did on our last check-in. And so she had shared on the first call about the tattoo dream, and then she didn't really focus on that with any of her goals or anything. So I just asked some different questions to get her thinking in different ways. And I didn't even, she came back with a response and then thought about it more and came back with the response. That is the magic of self-awareness and inquiry, and having groups like this and having people pull things out of you that maybe it's there, you just need that little nudge, so kudos to you for doing that. That's so awesome. I'm excited for it.
Super excited.
What can we help you with specifically over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think the well, this is something that I've been doing for myself is I have a food page, and I also have my art page, and then I have my personal page. Which my personal page, I like to do photography, so I actually went out probably a month ago and bought a camera. I've yet to download the software program to start learning how to use it, so that'll be nice. But my goal was to at least post something on one of my social medias during the week. And I do pretty good with my food stuff. I'll make videos, I'll go down to my garden, and I'll take the produce from there, take it home, and then create meals. Yesterday, everything I made was pretty much from my garden, other than rice. Just things like that. Just being held accountable, I guess. And
okay, will you post all of your pages in the Facebook group so we can follow them, and then if we don't, and then we can kind of check in on you and hold you accountable to making sure that you're doing a post?
Yeah.
Okay, because we might not be following all of them, because I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if I am or not, so we can do that for sure, and that'll be fun to see. I love all those types of posts, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, Samantha, you're up.
All right. My ritual that I did the drinking the lemon water in the mornings, and I started reading a daily devotional type thing with my journaling. Those were the two that I did.
Okay. I love it. And do you think those are things that you'll keep with, or what was kind of your experience with it?
Yeah, I'll definitely keep with it. Read the daily devotional. I started doing it before I journaled, and it just was gave me more inspiration of what I was journaling. And lemon water, it just feels good.
That's perfect. Yeah. And I like to, right now, I like to have cool lemon water, but as the weather gets colder too, you can heat it up a little bit, and it just making it warm makes it a fun little, even funner ritual. That's not even a word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I love it. What's your biggest aha moment?
My biggest aha moment was I asked my husband for help. And that was it was a weight lifted off, because I don't normally ask people. I usually try to accomplish everything on my own and have everything together. And it felt really good.
That's awesome. How did he respond? What was it like? Tell me about the experience.
He was willing to help me. Yeah, he was like, I can do that. Whatever you need, you know. He's like, you just have to communicate with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice.
Yeah, I think all of us can see ourselves in that a little bit. Like, you know, we want to think that we're strong, independent women and we can do it all, but we don't have to do it all. And what is it like if we do ask for help or give up some of those things like Crystal was talking about, like having to do 8 bazillion things that don't really matter? And the simplest things are the things that matter, you know? So congratulations to you, and keep going on that. So
Thank you.
what is something that we can help you with?
My challenge right now is I have realized I have developed a nighttime eating habit. Like my kids go to bed, everybody's in bed, and then it's like all of a sudden I'm like eating everything in sight.
Okay.
And then I feel like crap in the morning.
So how do you think we could best support you around that?
I don't know.
Anybody else have this issue ever? Besides me, but you know, I've had it. What kind of strategies or tips have you guys used before?
I have a question. Okay, how much are you drinking enough water, like throughout the day?
Probably not.
All right, so I was the same way, and I was like one of those late night snackers constantly. So I started drinking a lot more water, and that helps fill me up, and it flushes like all my nasty toxins out. And then I try to make sure that like my last meal is at a reasonable time, but I follow it either with like a protein shake or like a light snack. Just everybody's different, but maybe if you have something filling like for your last meal, you won't be so hungry later at night. That's how I was.
Good ideas.
Yeah.
For
Anybody
me,
else?
yeah, I do a lot of protein, so protein shake always helps. Makes you feel full, so you don't, you know, graze all night.
And then another thing would be, I guess, for instance, like how many meals you're eating, like how much food are you eating throughout the day?
I usually eat 2 meals a day.
Oh, girl, you hungry? That's why. you're starving.
And so I wanted to have this full conversation because it really feeds into the optimal health conversation. Honey, were you going to add something?
Well, this used to be an issue for me, and then I kind of got away from, I was just more mindful of what exactly I was eating throughout the day, because I decided to just listen to my body and fill my body with nutritious food throughout the day. 3 meals a day, full big food. So I have like meat and potatoes and vegetables, like, you know, and I am very satisfied, and I always love a dessert. So I always make room for that little dessert at night, and I'm satisfied. And something too is like a sweet and spicy like tea also, or any kind of tea. I found it kind of helps me too. And then the amazing halting exercise that Carmen instills in all of us.
Do you know what she's talking about?
Yeah, I think I've heard you say that.
Yeah, so halt, just like 90-second rule. You can't put anything in your mouth for 90 seconds. Ask yourself, am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? And hungry would be like what Crystal's talking about. If you're under eating during the day, of course your body's gonna want more at night. And so like at night, our so-called willpower lessens. You can't white knuckle it anymore. And so like that's gonna be a really hard time if you're not nourishing your body. And then angry just could be upset in any way. Lonely could be bored. And then tired. Like for me, I know 110%, like last year when I was traveling all the time, and if I'd had to take some early and late flights and I knew I was going to be tired, you better believe I had like snacks in my bag that were healthy because I knew I was going to want to eat something. Hi.
Sorry.
That's okay. but like being prepared if you know in advance that one of those situations are going to happen.
Well, I think I came off a diet that was like really calorie restrictive. You
Yeah.
only had certain foods, and it's like since I came off of that because it wasn't agreeing with me, I've kind of went crazy, and so I try to still stick with my 2 meals a day. But then I find nights it's just like I'm just like everybody's asleep, and I'm like, what now?
Yeah, so this is a really good lead in to achieving optimal health, and I am going to do a screen share too on this, but I want you guys to ask yourself, like, what like little facts do you truly believe to be true about achieving optimal health? So, like, if you think about that, like, what do we really think in the back of our mind, but we don't necessarily say out loud, but we think to ourselves, we need to do these things in order to achieve optimal health?
Exercise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else?
Consistency.
Consistency.
The right type of food.
Mm-hmm. The right type of food.
So like
No cheating.
What'd you say? Yeah. What'd you say, Brooke?
like recovery, like what are you doing for recovery?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Rest.
sleeping? Are you
Mhm.
resting enough? Are you doing like things post workout that are gonna help you stay moving, stay active? Are you what else are you doing
Mm-hmm.
besides just working out and restricting yourself?
And the reason, thank you for saying that. The reason why I like to ask that is because even though we mentally know what we should be doing, sometimes like we have these old like society standards of eat less, exercise more in order to achieve optimal health. And that's not necessarily the way to achieve optimal health. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of a screen share, but I think the number one thing that you can ask yourself is, how often am I checking in with my own body, breathing, and like feeling into what I need? How do I need to take care of my body? So, for example, like yesterday, I was telling you, a couple of you missed it, but in Colorado, there's lots of wildfires and there's like a shit ton of smoke outside. And I decided for the first time I was gonna go like on a trail ride on my bike. I was out there for a few hours and then I went walking. Like 2 days in a row, I was out in the smoke. So Monday morning, we were flying out of the airport at like 1. So I had plenty of time to go to the gym and get in a workout. And I could have forced myself to go, but I felt like such dog shit, like I didn't go. But my normal routine is to go to the gym. So instead of going to the gym, I took rest because that's what I needed. And I'm flying and traveling and doing all these other stressors on my body. Instead of adding that additional stress to my body, I asked myself what I needed and gave myself what I needed. And missing one workout, I'm not going to lose muscle. I'm not going to gain 20 pounds of body fat. You know what I mean? And so it's really like thinking about and asking yourself what it is you need, and then giving it to yourself with separating your emotional response from it. Because if we don't separate like our emotional response from it, then what's going to happen is like, oh, I feel like crap, and whatever our go-to numbing mechanism is, maybe it's eating, maybe it's drinking, maybe it's skipping workouts, maybe it's not being mindful, you go to that thing. And so it's asking yourself, actually sitting with yourself, and that's a really good time when you could use one of these alignment practices of just getting back into your breath and into your body. So I just want to go through a little bit of the worksheet that I put together for you guys. And if you don't have it in front of you, you can just use a pen and paper and just write on a piece of paper. But can you see my screen? Okay. Yeah, okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so here is one of the biggest things. So the supplement and health industry is like a multi-billion-dollar industry, and everybody wants the newest and best diet, the newest and best workout, the newest and best way to achieve optimal health. Whatever you need to do, like they're trying to sell it to us. And I like to put these two pictures because like as it relates to food, seriously, like packaged food, like, yeah, there is some okay things, but if you can eat from like the earth, like that's when you're gonna be the best off. And so a couple of just things here, like overall, like choosing a healthy lifestyle. And these are all things that we necessarily know, but maybe because they're so simple or we know we should be doing them, we put them off. But getting sleep. Sleep is often something that we don't get enough of. Like I pride myself on sleep, like as much of sleep as you can get, like try to go for 8 hours, not smoking, practicing daily movement. And so what I mean by that is like, move your body how you feel good. I gave about like yesterday when I wanted to go to the gym, and normally I do a leg workout and like a heavy, like more stressful, intense workout on Mondays. And I love it because it's a great way to start the week. But instead I just did some yoga at home and then we left on our trip. And that was still daily movement and that was still okay. And I want things like that are okay. So eat real food, mostly plants. Like Crystal was saying, you gotta drink water. Water, 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 water. Our body is made up of water. Eliminate and decrease alcohol consumption, minimize stress, and allow yourself alone time. So what do I mean by that? That's creating white space. So kind of like what Brooke and I were talking about, she maybe just hadn't thought about what she could do to maybe move forward on that dream of becoming more of an artist with tattoos or with photography or whatever she wanted to work on. And so she created some white space to be able to actually think. If you're seeking and seeking and seeking for clarity outside of yourself, you're never going to find it. You're not going to be able to achieve optimal health because you're always going to be looking outside of yourself. And if you have any issues around food, like if you think about it, like we live in this world that offers us access to convenience and food 24/7. And the food that you can find in restaurants, most of them, there are some good like farm to table ones, fast food and convenience food is highly palatable, which means it's high fat, high sugar, so it tastes so freaking good that you get addicted to it. And it makes our bodies even hungrier for more. And so couple that with not having enough time to think, not having enough time to process our own emotions, being so busy and going, that leads just for like a negative health solution. Where you're like, oh, I'll just pick up this bar instead of maybe making the time to make something fresh. So this is kind of a little check-in moment for you here. Why is achieving optimal health important to me? And so this is something I want you to write down. So why is this important to you? And how do you want to feel every day? And for each of us, it might be different. It might be important to you so you can show up a certain way for your family, so you can show up a certain way for yourself. So maybe right now you're working on, like right now, achieving optimal health is really important to me because Joel and I want to move to Mexico for 6 months next year. And I need to figure out how my eating might be a little bit different. I need to figure out how I'm really listening to my body and achieving optimal health because everything's going to be different there. And so right now that's important to me because of that reason. And how do you want to feel on a daily basis isn't necessarily just like, I want to feel healthy. Like, what does that mean? How does that feel in your body? Like, to me, feeling healthy feels free. It feels light. It like feels almost like this sense of calm and peace, which is different than what you would normally like equate words to. That when you say think healthy, you think like, you know, society tells us that we have to be like skinny, you know, or strong or whatever. And so whatever, there's no right or wrong here, just whatever is important to you. Go ahead and put that down. And then the next thing I just wanted to talk a little bit about, because there is a lot of misconception here, and at the end we'll do the Q&A. So if you have questions on your gut health specifically, please let me know. So our gut is basically like this living, breathing center that controls everything. You have a skin rash? Oh, it probably has to do with your gut. You feel brain fog? It probably has to do with your gut. And most doctors don't necessarily focus on this or have this information. And so what you can do to try to have good gut health naturally is to eat a lot of plant foods. So fiber is going to be the prebiotic foods that are going to like feed your good gut bacteria. And then you want to eat fermented foods, things like sauerkraut or kimchi, yogurt, kefir, some kombucha, but a lot of the commercialized ones are going to be real high in sugar. They all have a little bit of sugar. And then if you need to, for a short period of time to repopulate your gut bacteria, you can take a good quality probiotic on an empty stomach in the morning is when I normally recommend it. And so if you have any issues with like bloating, gas, digestion, not pooping, that sort of thing, I'd probably say that maybe something's going on with your gut. And I always like to mention this, and it gets really challenging because sometimes the doctors won't do the right testing, and then they'll just start throwing supplements at you, and those supplements aren't necessarily the ones that work. Like, for example, there's 2 main strains of bacteria in your gut that you'll see, like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus. And you have to have the right balance. And if you have an overgrowth of one and they just throw a probiotic at you that has both, they continue to exacerbate that overgrowth of one, that it won't be balanced out. So something to think about there. I used to think that you don't need to take supplements, but I've kind of changed my stance on that. And the reason for that is because even though we're trying to put like plant foods in our body and trying to choose organic when we can, and if you're curious about what you should buy organic, just look up the Environmental Working Group, Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen, and it'll tell you there. But these are the things that I would recommend just kind of as like a blanket. If for some reason you feel like you're not operating at 100%, so apple cider vinegar promotes digestion and it's antimicrobial. It's good right now, especially because people are trying to boost their immune system. Cod liver oil, so liquid, you want to take that. This is high in fatty acids, and this is really, really important. Vitamin D3, unless you're really getting outside every single day for 20 minutes, I would go ahead with vitamin D3. Vitamin C with meals, and then magnesium. So magnesium helps with over 800 enzymatic processes in our body, and most people in the United States are low on vitamin D and magnesium. So you can take too much magnesium, and if you do, you have diarrhea. So FYI on that, by the way. So here's what I just wanted to get to for this is this is again practices to try out. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. It's all about listening to your body. And so people always say, hey, Carmen, what's the best food? What's the best, journal? What's the best exercise? And it's really up to you and what makes you feel good. You should really focus on feeling good every day. So if you wake up in the morning, you should be like, what do I need today in order to feel good? And then do that. Again, separating that response from your emotions and your feelings, because that can dictate something different. And so here's a few more things that you can do. So 75 ounces of water or more per day. I'm a galloner a day, but up to you, again, how much you drink. And if you're doing a lot of exercise or sweating a lot, you probably need more than 75 ounces. I recommend taking your shoes off when you get home. I mean, if you think about it, you're just tracking shit all through your house. One, it'll be less cleaning, less on the to-do list. Eat real food, not too much, mainly plants. Get sleep, get self-aware, share your shit out loud. So just like Tawny was sharing, she has been journaling and really found this discovery of okay, this is where my not enoughness, like I like to call it, comes from. Now, how can I share that out loud? Because when you share it out loud, it releases its power over you and takes away the shame. Gain knowledge and use it. So just like on this call, we're going to do Q&A in just a minute. Collect evidence by listening to your body and save it. So if something is working, like that lemon water in the morning, really understand why that's working for you so you can keep doing it and keep doing it consistently. Build and ask for social support. That's why on all the calls I have you do and ask for help. Develop healthy rituals and environment, and practice mindful eating. So real quick on the mindful eating, what do I mean by that? So mindful eating goes down to asking your body what you need, and then making those foods, cooking your food with love, sitting down and eating undistracted. I even like to do a little prayer over my food. Even if you don't believe in God or you believe in spirit or universe or whatever you believe in, you just say something as easy as taking a few deep breaths and just saying, I love my food and my food loves me. And what you're doing is you're getting out of that fight or flight state, that go, 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 go state, because if you're eating in a hurry, your body's not going to be able to digest and assimilate the nutrients like it should. And so you want to eat slowly and make sure to chew your food. So let's just check in really quick again here before we go over to the Q&A. And so when do you feel really good and when do you feel really bad? Like in your body, throughout your day? Like what kinds of things are you doing when you do feel good, and what kind of things are you doing when you're not feeling that great?
I feel like fantastic in the mornings. I have like so much energy. I feel like I'm gonna conquer fucking today. I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna spend time with my kids. I already have my meals planned. And it's usually like around like 3 o'clock where I start feeling like dog shit.
Are you sitting down a lot after?
Well, now recently, yes, just because we already started school. So it's like I'm in front of a computer like all day with my kids now.
So
And
maybe that means you should build in some more active time.
And it's been so weird because like before school started, I wasn't like this. And I never thought about it for me being sitting down. But yeah, like I am. I don't get up until finally like whenever I'm not as active until when I get to the gym.
Yeah, so the other thing is just added stress on your body. And so is there anything that you can let go of around that school that you're really trying to control too much? That's the other thing that I would think about. So optimal health is not just about food and it's not just about exercise. It's also about controlling and like our mind and stress. And so I know this is a big deal for you with the kids and making sure that they're getting their adequate education, but where can you give a little bit? Where can you let go a little bit? Where can you let them discover more of their educational process and empower them to do a little bit more? So maybe just a few things to think about there.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my screen share now. And I wrote down a quote that I thought was really good around, and we'll do Q&A. So around listening to our bodies. So wherever you go, there you are. So wherever you go, there you are. And so oftentimes, like I said, like we're seeking and searching for something outside of ourselves. Or we think like, if I get this new job, if I lose this weight, if I do this new relationship, if I do this, then everything's gonna be better. Or then I'll be able to fill in the blank. But wherever you go, there you are. And so if you're not really asking yourself what you need and giving yourself what you need, you're still gonna be there. No matter your situation, no matter your environment, all those things can help. But the number one thing is to go inward. So with that, we have about like 12 minutes. And I just wanna open it up for just any questions in regards to stress, mindfulness, nutrition, supplements, gut health, fitness, just any more about rituals, anything that you ladies have, because I want to make sure that you're getting what you need from tonight. Dun, dun, dun. So no one has a question?
Okay, I got one. How do you prefer your kimchi? Because I found one, I've been eating some from our grocery store, and I saw that they had 2 different types. One was spicy and was original. And my kimchi that I buy doesn't look like your kimchi. So I'm wondering if I'm buying something that's not good.
Gotcha. So the store brand that I love is called Wild Brine. And I like the spicy Korean kimchi from Wild Brine, but any of the Wild Brine stuff, they also have sauerkraut. And if you think of like sauerkraut in the old pickle jar that tastes disgusting, it's not like that. And so I also buy sauerkraut from Wild Brine. But more recently, I got a referral to one of the local Asian markets. It's a Korean store, and kimchi comes from Korea. So they actually make it and ferment it there. And it's in Colorado Springs. And so I buy it from the Koreans that make it.
That stuff is so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's what I want it like every day now.
So here's the really cool thing about adding fermented foods in is slowly when we can switch our palate from sugary to bitter, like that's when we really win. And so society has really given us all these flavors that, like what I was talking about, that are like highly palatable, high fat, high sugary, and it switches our palate to want to crave sugar. So we really want to switch to crave like more bitter foods. So adding in fresh herbs and citrus fruit and fermented foods and things like that that are pickled, that are naturally pickled and fermented, really, really help with that. So good question. I love kimchi. I'm gonna go eat some after this call. Joel's down there making tacos, so he's doing Taco Tuesday. Our kids are both with us. The 4 of us haven't been together for like, I don't know, 2 years. So
Oh, wow.
it's kind of fun, yeah. What other questions do we got? I wanted to talk about something that you said, Brooke, really quick. And you said, I'm getting up early and I'm doing all of this, but by 6, I'm really tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to know, like, it's okay to rest sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So like, you have a wonderful ritual and a wonderful routine, but maybe some days it might be okay to just do the yoga and not the workout. Or maybe some days it might be okay to not do either. And then at nighttime, go for a really long walk. So I just want you to think about that. Like, you can change it up. You know what I mean? You can keep it the same and you can change it up. And just thinking about making sure you're getting enough nutrition and making sure you're getting enough water in. You can stand up at all at work. I don't know if you probably move around a lot, yeah or no?
Yeah. So I have like a sit-stand desk.
Okay.
And I'm always foam rolling or using the lacrosse ball.
Okay.
When I'm at home and I'm drawing and I use my easel, so I stand.
Okay.
Or if I'm sitting on those big rubber balls. I keep forgetting what they're called.
The physio. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll do stretching like every hour, maybe.
Okay.
Sooner sometimes if I feel like my shoulders. And I eat pretty healthy, I
Yeah.
think. Like I do
Yeah.
all organic. I do like everything that's on here. I'm like, shoot, I do that already.
That's good. So the one thing that I would say to you is like routine is so good. And I love rituals and I love how they make you feel. But sometimes like just doing nothing is okay too. And that's okay. And sometimes we need that. And if you're like me, like I try to fit something in all the time, but you don't need to. You know, you can still reach your goals and give yourself space.
Okay.
And so that might be something that you could just play around with a little bit and see if that could energize you a little bit more. But also, if we are showing up our best selves, like, don't we want to kind of be a little bit tired at nighttime when it's time to go to sleep? So we sleep good?
I mean, yeah, but I just feel, I don't know, like I get headaches all the time. I get sensitivity to light, certain noises, sounds, things like that. So all of that is super draining. And just people can be mentally exhausting too.
Of
so
course.
I think that contributes a lot to why I feel so tired.
Yeah, people can be very draining. And so there is an idea that I like to talk about, and this is around achieving optimal health too, and that's protecting your energy. So we only have a certain amount of energy throughout the day. And so what can we do to give ourselves more energy, and what can we do to, like, that drains our energy? You know, like, is there a way that those people that are draining, you could somehow spend less time with them? Obviously at work, if you work in customer, experience, sometimes that's hard to not do that. But also remembering that everybody is coming from a different perspective and not taking it personally. Like, business is business, it's not personal, and just everybody's doing the best that they can with what they have. And I like to think about, like, creating your calendar instead of saying, like, okay, I have from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to do all my things, or like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and fill in every moment. I like to think about, like, where are things that I can put in, like white space where I can do nothing, or things that I can put in midday that I know that are going to give me energy. Not what I think I should be doing, what I think is the right thing to be doing, the thing that's actually going to give me life and that makes me feel good. So I don't know, like maybe instead of foam rolling, I mean, I like foam rolling, but like maybe you draw a little bit midday, you know, like it's just kind of thinking about other things that might lift you up and give you energy, you know, so just a couple ideas.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What else? Samantha or Tanya, you guys have any questions? Nothing?
I don't really know.
So one
I
thing
have
to
one
think
more
about.
question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So if I'm gonna go into like eating more, what's the best way to start that? Like,
What would your 2 meals normally consist of right now?
probably high fat, moderate protein, and really low carb.
Okay, gotcha. So what I would, when do you normally work out during the week?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. So what I would do is I would start your breakfast meal with some sort of protein. So high protein, veggies, and a little bit of healthy fat. So decrease the fat a little bit. And then I would have your next 2 meals include carbohydrates. And the reason why I'm saying not to start with carbohydrates at the beginning of the day, because it's going to regulate your blood sugar a little bit better
Okay.
if you don't start with them. Now, if you were working out pretty consistently every single day, that my answer would be a little bit different. But you want to make meals like what Tani was talking about that are filling to you. So if you have the diet mentality of, I'm just going to eat chicken and 1 cup of vegetables and a half cup of rice, it's just going to be feeling really limiting. So like half a plate of veggies, a good serving of lean protein, a little bit of healthy fat. And then I always like to do like flavor adds too. So like kimchi, sauerkraut, pickled red onions, like make your food fun and flavorful. And those things are actually good for your gut too. And so that's where I would start. And then I would do the other 2 meals and have a little bit of carbohydrates. Of course, like good non-processed carbohydrates like rice, like sweet potatoes. Fruit is a carbohydrate, quinoa, oatmeal, that sort of thing is really, really good. And then the idea that Tani and Crystal both had was having, and Brooke, too, she does a protein shake, having a little snack that you really like and enjoy at nighttime and planning that out so you have something to look forward to, I think will really help like curb the late night. One of my favorites is chia pudding. Have you ever made that?
Mm-mm.
So
And if you have any issues
So
with
good.
digestion, chia seeds really helps you poop. So it's really just chia seeds and like some sort of liquid. So maybe like unsweetened cashew milk. I'll post a recipe in the group. And then some protein powder. So you're getting good fats, you're getting fiber, and you're getting protein. And then if you want something sweet, like putting like some cinnamon and some berries and stuff on it, it's really good and filling. And that could be a good like nighttime treat. But instead of focusing on eating less, like that's why you're like all or nothing mentality right now. Now we need to be like, how can I nourish my body? Eat more during the day and then plan a fun snack that you like at nighttime.
Okay.
That's what I would recommend for sure.
Okay.
And then just listen to your body. And the other thing is if you do eat so my other tip is to get rid of snacks that you really like and buy your kids snacks that you don't really like. That seems silly, but just like while you're working through this process, like that could really help too. I always give the example of when I would do bodybuilding shows, I had to learn not to have my favorite like peanut butter or almond butter or anything in the house. Nutso is my favorite because I'd sit there and eat the jar. Not because I was mentally like upset, it was because the physical process in my body after dieting for so long was just that physical process was craving that. And so I just knew that about myself. And then after like a month or 2, then I could have the peanut butter again and I could moderate myself. But right away I couldn't, just knowing that about yourself. And oftentimes people think like, oh, you should just be able to do it. But sometimes you can't. And so you just need to be smart and plan and listen to your body. So,
Okay.
Cool, good question. Okay, So thank you so much for joining the call tonight. I'm super excited about future weeks that we have upcoming, some exciting stuff. All of you said that you were really interested in learning about simplicity. And so I'm gonna, on our next call, we're gonna have a really super fun challenge. So I'll give it to you a few days ahead of time. And so we can like do it, it's gonna be a week-long challenge and do it all together. Something really fun to look forward to there. I'm excited about doing it with you guys. And then we'll do the Tuesday check-in, and I'll post in the group just your check-in template. You can just copy and paste it into the email. But again, we have some things that we want to follow up on. So Brooke, I want to follow up and make sure she's doing her IG posts. She's going to post all of her pages in the Facebook group. Crystal needs air fryer tips and recipes. Samantha, where you need to help with like just getting her more balanced nutrition. So any like nighttime snacks or any good recipes you have, share those. And then Tani hasn't thought of anything yet, but she's going to post something specific today because she thought of something maybe. But other than that, I'm always available too. So shoot me an email or post in the group, ask questions, and stay active. And make sure you guys are checking in with yourself for your accountability partners too. So that could be a great way for these accountability things to have even more of that. Cool. Any last questions? No? You ladies are awesome. Have an amazing evening.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.